Hello and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Lost in Translation. Today, we're diving into one of the most hilarious yet awkward parts of traveling, cultural misunderstandings.
Oh yes, those moments where you think you're just being polite or making a friendly gesture. But then you realize, oops, you just offended someone without even realizing it.
Right, and it's always something small and innocent that turns into a disaster. Like, who knew a simple thumbs up could cause so much chaos?
Exactly, there's so much to learn, especially when you're in a completely new culture. So let's talk about some of those funny moments that happen when you just can't get the local customs right. Let's kick things off with something so basic that we all think we know it, the thumbs up. We use it to say good job, nice work. All good, right?
Absolutely. But hold on, if you're in parts of the Middle East, Iran, or even some South American countries like Brazil or Argentina, giving someone a thumbs up can be seen as highly offensive. It's almost like saying screw you.
Wait, seriously, I thought it was universal. What did your friend do?
Oh, my friend learned the hard way. He was in Iran, just finished a taxi ride, and after paying, he gave the driver a big thumbs up. He smiled and walked away, thinking he was being friendly and polite.
And was it a disaster?
Oh, absolutely. The driver's face went from neutral to downright angry. My friend didn't even realize why, so he just brushed it off. It wasn't until later that a local explained to him that in Iran, a thumbs up is actually a rude, almost obscene gesture. He was mortified.
I can only imagine. It's those moments where you wish you could disappear. So, what did he do next?
He just kept apologizing over and over, but the driver was long gone. Moral of the story, be careful when you're giving out those thumbs up.
All right, let's talk about food now. Everyone knows that making noise when you eat is a big no-no in many cultures, especially in Western countries.
Exactly. No slurping, no loud chewing. It's all about being polite and quiet at the table.
Well, try doing that in Japan while eating ramen, and you'll be looked at like you're from another planet.
Wait, why?
In Japan, slurping your noodles is actually a sign of respect to the chef. It's a way of saying, wow, this is really delicious. So when my friend went to Japan, he tried his best to eat quietly. But instead, he got some serious side-eye from the locals.
Haha, what did he do?
He was so confused, especially when someone leaned over and whispered, "Why aren't you slurping?" He tried to explain, but they just looked at him and said, "It's okay, you should slurp." It's a compliment to the chef.
Haha, so he was basically too polite for Japan. What did he do then?
He tried, but he was so bad at it. He slurped loudly, but it didn't come out right. And then he nearly choked on his noodles. The entire restaurant looked at him, and he thought he'd never be able to show his face again.
That sounds so stressful. So, lesson learned, when in Japan, just slurp away. Okay, let's talk about something that can really mess with your head: nodding and shaking your head. Simple, right?
Of course, nodding means yes, and shaking your head means no. That's how it works everywhere, right?
Not quite. In Bulgaria and Albania, it's completely reversed. Nodding means no, and shaking your head means yes.
Wait, so if I nod, I'm actually saying no? That sounds like a nightmare.
Yep. Imagine you're in a restaurant in Bulgaria, and the waiter asks, "Would you like some more bread?" You nod enthusiastically, thinking you're saying yes, but you're actually telling him no.
That's so confusing. And then you get stuck with no bread and no explanation.
Exactly. My friend had this happen, and it was hilarious but also embarrassing. He didn't understand why the waiter just looked at him in disbelief before walking off.
At that point, I just start doing thumbs up, head shaking, everything to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. All right, let's dive into those awkward greeting moments. Some cultures kiss on the cheek, right? But how many kisses? And where exactly do you kiss?
I've had this happen. It's like, do you kiss once, twice, 3 times? It's always so unclear.
I've heard so many stories about this one. There was this guy in France who went in for the customary to cheek kisses. But instead of kissing the cheek, he landed straight on the lips. Total disaster.
No way. Did they make a scene?
No, thank goodness. But both of them just froze for a moment. There was an awkward pause before the guy quickly blurted out, "I'm not from here. I swear." He basically ran off after that.
I'd probably do the same if that happened to me. It's one of those moments you never forget.
Exactly. Imagine the confusion of the other person too. They probably thought, is this person really trying to kiss me on the lips right now?
Yeah, not the best first impression. So there you have it, some of the funniest, most awkward cultural misunderstandings that happen when we're trying to be polite but end up making a fool of ourselves.
Honestly, it's amazing how different every culture can be. But once you get past the awkwardness, it's all about learning and appreciating those differences.
Absolutely. So, tell us, have you ever been in an embarrassing situation due to a cultural misunderstanding? Maybe you did something you thought was polite but ended up causing confusion.
If you've got a funny story, we want to hear it. Drop us a message, and we might share your story in our next episode.
Thanks for listening, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our future episodes. Until next time, keep exploring and keep laughing.
See you next time.